Hey everyone, Dr. Josh Handt here for Lifestyle Locker Radio. We are at episode 137 and we're changing the format just a little bit. We're going to be talking about the race to 100. And I want to start all these episodes off with a quote, and I'm going to be doing these weekly now until October 19th, 2019, where I have my first 100-mile run. And there's a quote by Henry Ford that says, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're probably right. I think that quote is wrong. I think the quote should go like this: whether you think you can, you're right. And whether you think you cannot, you're probably wrong, because you probably can do it. So that being said, this is one of my biggest weeks of training to date, even for my other marathons and ultra marathons. So I hit a total of 51.9 miles this week, and I'm planning on ramping up every single week. And I apologize in this episode if you do hear some noise. You will, if you catch the video, you will see the background. I am on my boat, floating, bobbing left and right. It's a little breezy out, so you may hear other boats and other people and certain things rattling. So that being said, let's just roll through some of the workouts that we did and how I believe they're helping me. So day one was Tuesday, right? Day one was my first run of the week. I work all day Monday. I'm trying to figure out how I can actually get some runs in on a Monday. It's either going to be at like 4 in the morning or it has to be late at night. So my first workout was a 6.77 mile run to the gym. But I lifted for 30 to 45 minutes. I usually do a circuit with things like deadlifts and squats and pull-ups and push-ups and farmer carries. So I did 3 to 6 rounds of those, of multiple exercises. Then I did about 4.05 miles back, so we're just over 10 for day one. Day two was Thursday. I did 9.34. I remember it being a tougher day. You know, I really wanted to push hard and ended up walking a little bit, doing a little bit of a walk run, but I ended up making it through. Friday, which I thought may be one of the worst days, I believe it was Friday, I did 11.67. Crazy, right? All this distance, again, not feeling that fantastic, but I'm able to push through and keep my average pace for all of my runs this whole week under 10 minutes and 30 seconds for all 51 miles or 51.9 miles. And that's important because when we do an ultra, my goal is going to shoot for under 24 hours or 24 hours, right? Like 24 and under. And I believe the pace is like 14.5 minute miles or something in that range. So I do need to keep my pace consistent over the course of a week. Because if you've taken my running course, my 45-day Lifestyle Locker Endurance Challenge course, I talk about a running bank and what the running bank is. A running bank is something that you build up in a week. So this week I ran 51.9 miles. So that my running bank for next week, if I didn't run all week and I went to run one day, I had a bank of 51.9 miles of distance built in. I have to do this consistently to actually build up that bank account of running. So next week I wouldn't run 51.9 miles in one run. Is it potential? Of course I have the potential to do it, but not something I actually want to do or need to do for any particular reason. Otherwise, besides me saying, hey, I ran 50 miles in one shot, but I don't need to do that. I'm not out to injure myself or hurt myself. One thing I can tell you that I need to get better at is the mobility. I end up carrying around my foam roller with me everywhere I go, and I don't use it as frequently as I should. But let's get back to the run. So Friday was 11.67. Saturday was 10.1, which Saturday, to give you an idea, so Friday night, we opted to sleep on the boat. And you can see, if you see the background moving behind me, I'm looking at the little level ball on the tripod here. It's bouncing everywhere. So we had poor night's sleep. It's not a comfortable bed, and I really was like, maybe I probably won't run today. Got up a little later than I wanted to, even though it was only 6:30. But I got up, I took my dog for a walk so he didn't go bonkers on the boat and wake the whole marina up. But what I ended up doing is I ended up doing 10.1, which I thought was going to be the hardest run of the week, and that actually ended up being not too bad. I could have quit at 9, because that's how far it was from the marina to my house. But I'm like, what? Let's go the extra mile, like literally the extra mile. And today was my toughest of the runs, which was a 10 miler. And I thought, and I apologize for saying this on a Facebook Live earlier, that I thought I did double-digit days every day of running. Obviously, Thursday at 9.3 wasn't a double-digit day. Had I just put in a little bit more effort, it would have been, but nonetheless, I averaged over 10 miles per run per day based on the total mileage per week of running. So today sucked, by the way, and super duper exhausted. And for those of you that don't know, I've listened to the David Goggins Can't Hurt Me book, I think 3 times now at this point. And he talks about, when he gets into some of his chapters on endurance running, he talks about running on tired legs, like feeling it back to back to back. And man, I know what it feels like to run on tired legs. My whole body was shot today. I got up later than I wanted to, ran slower than I wanted to, ended up walking and running, but the goal to get that 10.1 or 10 miles flat, it was the goal. I got it. It wasn't an easy one, but what I'm realizing is another Goggins rule is that 40% rule. And he says when you're ready to tap out, you got at least 40% more, and it's not easy to tap into the full 40%. You may tap into 1% or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and I want to start doing that very regularly, because if I can do that, I'm going to have to really pull into that 40%, when I'm doing a 100-mile run. And as the weeks go on and I start to share this with you, you'll see my mileage go up. You'll see my attitude probably change, at least I hope I do. And you'll also realize, we'll get into some nutrition and food, but it's going to have to start to change a little bit. The more endurance we're putting in, the more strenuous activity I'm putting in, because realize certain weeks are not going to be distance weeks. Certain weeks are going to be sprint weeks or fast weeks. And that may mean even just doing sprints of, hundreds of yards up a steep hill 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times until I fatigue myself, and then maybe go for a really slow, 4 or 5 mile run after that, just to get my heart rate down and keep it consistent for a while. But what else? So what I've learned this week, and it's really not really learning, it's more of a reminder, is that dairy and me don't like each other. It's horrible. Last weekend when I ran, I think I shared a Facebook Live or comment, I had ice cream the night before, and I was only able to put in about 6 miles. I had to stop and find a porta potty, which sucked. It was horrible. But I ended up having, that was the worst run of the day, even though it was probably 95% humidity, felt like 90 degrees that day. I did the same thing last night. We had my parents' house, and they had fresh mozzarella with tomatoes, balsamic, olive oil, and seasoning. It was awesome. I probably should have just had the tomato, the olive oil, the balsamic, and that, because again today felt like crap. So I got to learn my lesson here, and I got to take action on my experiences so I can actually get better and perform better, because that's the goal. What I did differently, what I started doing this week, which I really, really enjoyed, two things. One, I got a new pair of shoes, so all 51.9 miles, I believe, this week. I don't remember exactly, if not all of them, every one of them, but the first day, but the 10 miles was on the new shoes, which I really like. They're the Altra Duos. I'll put some of these details in the show notes of the stuff that I'm doing. Secondly, today, one of my buddies, Scott, who's done the endurance program that I talked about earlier, he's like, don't you have footbeds? And I'm like, holy crap, yes, I have these. The brand is Superfeet. I have their black carbon, whatever it's called. I bought them for hiking and stuff like that, but I threw them in today. Really, really great, but also what I needed to do, and today was a good learning day, is it was warm when I ran. I put the footbeds in, and I used something called lock laces, which are these elastic laces, which I absolutely love, and I think everybody that runs should have these. I didn't loosen them enough and let them stretch out enough, so the top of my right foot was killing me the whole run. I pushed through it, maybe not the smartest or best thing, but I know pain is only temporary, and it allows me to push farther. But that was an important thing. So the footbeds were really cool in the new shoes. I believe it, and felt that it made things easier. Next, the other thing that I did, I started on, I think it was maybe Tuesday's run. or Thursday, I don't remember what day it was. I ordered for the first time because I've had muscle cramping on my last Ultra. My muscles, like in my legs, like mile 27, 29, just felt like garbage for a little bit. And I ordered something from a company called Goo, which many of you know. They have like their salt or electrolyte tablets, which I thought was really neat because theirs has ginger in it as well. I'll put that in the show notes as well. Ginger is an anti-inflammatory, and I figured, holy cow, if I'm beating myself up, if I'm taking 1 or 2 of these every single hour to rehydrate, get these electrolytes and water in my system, then why not have 150 to 100 milligrams of ginger in there to help with the inflammation and the abuse that I'm putting on my body during these runs? So I've liked them so far. I can tell you my digestion running, long distances in the heat right now, I haven't had any issues at all. It's felt great. And so next week we have to shoot for between 5 and 10% more mileage is the goal. For next week is going to be another distance week, but it's also supposed to be a heat wave, so we will see how the day pans out, or the week pans out. And from there, we'll see the following week. I haven't planned it out yet. I'll start to share some of my programming and planning with you. I will probably add a speed week with some lifting in as well. So some of my training may be indoors, which is not my favorite. Maybe treadmill training, which I really don't like. It's very effective, but it's definitely not as fun and as good as being outdoors, because you actually get the experience of like being in a race, right? I'm not in a race indoors. And I think at some point this summer we're going to head out to Waywayonda, New Jersey, where the marathon is, and I'm going to see they have 3 loops. We end up doing 4 total times for 100 miles, so about 25 miles a loop, maybe plus or minus, a tenth of a mile. I don't remember exactly what it is. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to do that. I'm going to see if I can steal my wife, or she may want to do it. She'll probably kill me if we do it, but that or my buddy John, who did my last ruck with me, I want to do 1 full cloverleaf, so all 3 loops. So I want to hit a total of 25 miles in that, and that'll be ruck, so that'll be weight over time, so that'll be a 25 to 35 pound ruck to do that, and we're going to see if we can crush that in a half a day, weighted, and move fast. And so I'll keep you posted. Again, thanks for tuning in. This is Lifestyle Locker Radio Podcast. This is the Race to 100 series. You're going to hear these every single week. So no matter when you're listening to this or even watching these, have a good day, evening, and night, and we'll see you on the next season. Bye-bye. Next episode, Jesus, bye-bye.